Okay, so this is my new student dialogue vlog, and my name is William Lee Curtis, and my dialogue was on conformity and how it affects our lives. So the start was kind of awkward. Everyone came in, and the leaders came in after us and had us move all the tables out of the way and create a giant circle with the chairs. Everybody was really quiet. No one really wanted to talk. The instructors seemed really happy and like they were really excited about what they do, and that makes things easier for us. It was kind of cool how they were so into what we were going to talk about, and they gave us a lot of new ideas on conformity because they made it more about well, made it more about how we see ourselves and how we want to fit in and how what we hold deepest in our like closest to our hearts and how we want to see ourselves based on what other things there are out there, and that's really different from what I've usually thought of as conformity, because conformity to me has always been uh, doing what other people say, buckling under, and just following everyone else. And I don't really like doing that. I kind of like keeping my social identity, and it's just I don't know. It was just a different perspective, and it made me kind of think differently about how I'm so judgmental of conformity and stuff. So we get started, and it's kind of quiet. There's a couple people who are really speaking up because no one else seems to be talking. And I was sitting there and I would listen because I like to observe things, and I noticed how awkward it was getting that only there was like two people were talking. So I would chime in every now and then, put in a couple my 2 cents or whatever, and kind of get into the whole dialogue thing. The first thing we did was discuss what a dialogue is, which just it's not an argument, it's not anything, it's just a educated discussion about a topic that could be pretty controversial. And so we started off and we were talking about conformity in general and just what we thought conformity was. And everybody seemed to just have the same idea, just, buckling under, doing what you're expected to, doing what other people tell you to do because you think it's right or whatever. And I don't know, they did this activity where they had us write down all of our like 8 values that we keep to ourselves, like things that define us. And then slowly throughout the discussion, they would have us to like cross them off our list, and that's kind of hard to do because you're like, wait, kind of hold these are my core values, why would I get rid of them? But they're saying you have to get rid of 2, and I'm like, okay, fine. And then at the end you had just 2 left, and those were supposed to be the things that you value the most, things that most define you as a person, kind of how you I don't know how you define yourself. Mine turned out to be family and just friendships, because family has always been really important to me. I was raised in a house that they always wanted the best for me. They always made sure I learned to respect them, and they're just amazing people, my parents, and I always want to be there and make sure that they're the most important thing in my life first. And then friends is just, you gotta have friends. You get this is no fun being alone all the time, especially when you grow up with siblings. Is kind of how you always are wanting friends and other people around because you've always had other people around. But moving on from that, they also made us do this activity where there was we drew a circle, and they all had like different topics like socioeconomic status, body type, all these other things that would characterize a person. And we had to characterize ourselves, and then we shared it with other people and just got a little look at how other people look at themselves and how we look at ourselves. And it's pretty much you on a piece of paper, and it was really interesting to see how you perceive yourself. and that all tied into just how you would conform to other things too. Like you would conform to something that's like you, because that's what you normally, I don't know, just how you are. And we watched a couple videos. One that really piqued my interest was one that was about this science experiment that some college did, where a group of kids were brought in and were treated like prisoners, and the other group of students was the guards, prison guards, and they were treated like they went crazy. They didn't have any rules. They didn't have any people telling them what they couldn't do and what should be done. They were just told that they are the guards and they are the prisoners. Do what you think you should happen. And so after a couple weeks, the guards got ruthless. They were treating prisoners terribly. The criminals actually started thinking they were criminals for some reason and wanted to break out. And it was just weird how they assumed the roles that they were given, instead of just being like, this is stupid. Why are we doing this? But the other students, they started acting like guards, so the students started acting like prisoners, and it just became, it just got way out of hand, and it was kind of crazy how they got so determined to do what they were told and do what they thought should be done by those people. So it was a cool look into how conformity affects the mental status of a person. And I don't know, it just was interesting to me because I like scientific research and stuff like that. And so there were lots of back to the questions that you guys gave us. I feel like we did achieve a dialogue. There wasn't many people talking, but there was a lot of discussion that went on throughout the few people that were talking. There was several very active members in the group. The leaders were very active and they were trying to give us all kind of stories, and which was good, of personal experiences and stuff. And then most of the people in the group were very reserved. They were just there to get it done and get out. When I first came in, I was kind of the same way. I was kind of quiet. I was like just trying to move things along. It got very painful to hear no one talking, so I was like, okay, gotta say something. Come on, people. And so that made it, I don't know. At first it took forever. It seemed like it was going on forever, and then finally people started talking and it got better. And time went by faster. Would have been easier if everyone just started talking at the beginning. But I'm partially to blame. I mean, we were all nervous and didn't know what was supposed to really happen. And so I feel like the dialogue component, I don't want to say it's not necessary for entrance C1000, but I mean, I didn't really get anything out of it other than personal interest, and that just happened to be because there's a dialogue that piqued my interest. I didn't make any friends. I didn't continue to talk to anyone. We all just went our separate ways like usual. But I don't know if that was the same for anyone else. So I feel like it could be useful, but it wasn't useful for me. It was just something that, I don't know. It piqued my interest, so it gave me a little different look on life. But that's about all I got out of it. That's about it. So I guess I'll just post it. Thank you for the time, and thank you for accepting me to Clemson, I guess. Whatever.